What's up guys, I'm BTC. In today's video, we're going to be going through the Paris map. If you didn't hear, they are going to be reworking it. And today I want to go through that map and find some of the things that are causing problems with it. And I also want to get some feedback from you guys about where you think the issues are with the Paris map. But before we get to that, I want to point out that I just released a brand new video over on my second channel. This is a Westworld Season 3 Episode 1 review. This is a full review for the episode. And even if you don't like the Westworld series, I strongly suggest you go and check it out because I think you'll at least think the video is pretty funny. You'll get some enjoyment out of it, even if you don't like the show. A link for that will be down in the description. You can go and check it out after you're done watching this. Alright, so let's take a quick look through this. Again, if you have any ideas or suggestions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below. I think that the spawn room is fine. There's really nothing that they need to change here. Nobody really ever uses this large health pack right there. Nobody ever uses the mini right there. Then you have the secret door with nothing behind it. And then the problems don't really start coming up until you're over here. And I think the first thing is this blue car is just a problem. It shouldn't be there, and let me explain why. You might think that this is similar to Volskaya, where you have the vehicle that's kind of in the choke point. But on Volskaya, what happens is you have that big truck that's like right here, and then that forces the defenders to kind of pick one side or the other for them to defend. Now, they can also use the big truck. Imagine that it's there. They can also use the big truck as cover. So if they start to take damage, they can then quickly hide behind the truck. They can get healed back up, and then they can come over here. But the thing is, it's actually an advantage for the attackers to have that truck in Volskaya because it allows you to pick the path that you want to go in. And when you do go through that path, it provides you some cover because you have the vehicle in the way. But with this, the car is just a hindrance to the attackers. It doesn't do anything for the defenders at all, but it's just a hindrance for the attackers because it forces you to go through this very small area right here or a very small area on the other side. It doesn't provide any actual good cover. I mean, yeah, you could kind of duck over here, but nobody's ever going to do that. So it's not as big as the truck on Volskaya, so it doesn't provide you the cover that you need. All it is just something that's in the way. And this can probably be removed. That would be the first thing that I would do in this map if I was going to change it. I would get rid of that car. The next thing for this area is the fact that there are no large health packs here. If you look at any of the other 2 capture point maps, they all have a large health pack near the choke point in order to help the attackers move through, give them a little bit more in the resource department. But all we have is a small or a mini health pack right there. You've got another mini right here, and then there's another mini right there. So there are no large health packs in this area to help the team. The closest other stuff would be like this mini right here, which is just useless. Nobody's going to use it. And then the large is way over here, which just isn't useful. It's too far away from the choke point to actually help in any way. So there would need to be, one of these would need to be changed into a large health pack. Now, another thing is, you might think that this kind of situation on the right is similar to what we have on Anubis, but it's not quite the same situation because, yes, you can come over here and then you have to go up this small ramp, again, kind of similar to Anubis, but remember, on Anubis, you would have a large health pack right there, and instead you have a mini that is way over there. So already, you're at a disadvantage for not having the health pack close, and when you do have the health pack, it's not even the large health pack. Now, the other thing is the fact that when you're coming over to this side, you are completely exposed, and the defenders can attack you this entire time when you get over here. And again, once you do come over here, all you have is the mini. So I think that we need to have a large health pack. Maybe this area would need to have a little bit more cover in order to just allow the attackers to kind of move in a little bit better. This side isn't too bad. You do have the cover once you're inside the building here, and once you can come over here. But I think the issue is that there's no reason to really come up over this side, right? Like, you're completely exposed this entire time while you're up over here. Unlike, again, you look at Volskaya, you look at Hanamura, you look at Temple of Anubis, any of those other ones, right? When you go onto one of those flanking routes, you are covered by walls or other objects that are going to protect you while you're trying to come over on the side and get the high ground, right? For example, in Volskaya, if you go to the left, you can go into the building, and then you can go to the other side and go on to the other building, and then you can take high ground. Or if you go to the right, then you can just go up the stairs, and you can cross over, and you have other high ground. And then on Temple of Anubis, when you go onto the right-hand side, you go up into that building, up this couple set of stairs, and then you've got that large health pack on the top. But with Paris, there's nothing here. You're completely exposed for this entire area, so there's no reason to ever come over here. Like, this is not a good idea to ever try to bring your team over here in order to get above the capture point. So another thing that I would probably change is just provide some cover here. Now, you do have to have a couple of spots where they have to be exposed, where you're moving from, you know, from the choke point itself over to here. You don't want to have the attackers just be able to walk up here for free, but there's just way too much opening, right? So I would probably have it so that, you know, this area right here is still exposed, but once you go into this building, I would probably have this one connected to that, and then just have it so maybe there's like a window here or something, so there is a little bit of an area where you're kind of exposed, but not this huge, massive area right here. One other thing I want to point out with this area is the flanking route is not very good. So this area right here, if you have some sort of vertical mobility, you're going to be able to climb up and you can just kind of slide down the roof, but you're completely exposed the entire time. So what I would probably do is just flatten out the roof. Make it so that the attackers can get up there and they can just kind of sit there and wait, and then they can move over. Also, that would give an attacking Hanzo or an attacking Widow another place where they can position themselves in order to try to attack. Because right now, pretty much the only spot that they have available is that area right there. Like that's it. Just that one area, and that's all you have. I mean, you could try on the bottom, but I mean, it's basically the same thing. So just flatten out that roof right there and allow it so that the attackers can just kind of have that as a little perch where they can go up there. Moving on to the second part of the map, I think the main issue with this is that it's just too big of an area. I like the idea, you have this giant mansion, there's the artwork and all that sort of stuff inside, but I think this area is just way too big, and functionally, it doesn't really work all that well. So if you're the defenders, there's a couple of spots where you can go. You can probably come over here if you're running a more defensive or bunker style comp, where you're going to hold up onto this area, maybe if you have an Orisa or something, right? So you can hold this area, but the thing is, you have no idea where the attackers are going to be coming from. If you're on a map like Temple of Anubis, you're going to be holding the middle. If the enemy tries to go into the left onto that second area and then try to flank, then what you can do is, as soon as you see them starting to move over there, you can then quickly adjust and then try to defend that right-hand side. But on Paris, you have no idea where the attackers are going to be until they finally pop up, because your vision is blocked by the fountain and the bushes and stuff over there. So when they come out through that choke point way over there, then they make their decision. You don't see them until they pop up like right there or right there. And it's just too big of an area. It would be okay a little bit if it was just one side, right? Like if you could have the center or the right side, so then you could kind of like be like this. But the fact that you have to reposition, like this is a huge amount of distance that you would need to cover in order to reposition. So you have over here, right? And let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6-ish blinks, right? That's a big amount of distance for the defenders to be able to cover. So I think that this entire second area would probably need to be reduced by about 30% or so, and maybe get rid of this right here, or maybe make it so that it's see-through or something, make it out of glass or something. Maybe if you don't want to have the, you know, the full kind of sight lines for the defenders, right? Like you don't want to have a Widow or a Hanzo up there. Just make it glass or something. I don't know, but, you know, another problem is you could have a defender up over here so you can see which direction that they're going, but then you put yourself in a really bad position where, like, let's say your team is trying to hold right here. You can easily get flanked onto that side or flanked onto that side, or what could even happen if they decide to go all the way around, they could actually go outside. You can maybe see them a little bit through the window, but what could happen is if you're trying to hold here, they could try to go all the way around outside, and then they could appear behind you. And that just doesn't make sense. Like, this area is just way, way too big. There are too many flanking routes. They need to reduce that a little bit. It's kind of funny because it's the opposite of the Horizon Lunar Colony, where Horizon just doesn't have enough paths for you to go, but this one has too many. I just think that they need to shrink this area. Get rid of some of these paths. Maybe they could make it so that there is some sort of objects in the way that's kind of blocking some stuff or whatever. Maybe put part of the house under construction, whatever they want to do. But I just think that this area is way too big. And I think the first thing that they need to do to try to balance it is shrinking that before you can even try to approach some of the other issues. So those are some of the main things that I think are wrong with the Paris map. What are some of the things that you think need to be changed when they make that rework? Also, don't forget to check out that brand new video that is on my second channel. The link for that will be in the description down below. And for the Paris map, leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can get some cool gear, join my Discord server, or follow me on social media with the links down in the description below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, and remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.